another import statement that is of interest. So if you look at this import statement over here, which is it's got from keyword, it's got skband, got linear model, and then import statement, and then the another module over here. But this isn't actually a module, because if you hover over here, you can see this is a class. So you've seen an import statement that if I scroll down here, you can see the import statement like this, where if I hover over here, you can see this is a module. And from this module, we are importing in the two functions and then aliasing them over here. Watch my previous explanation on this import statement. But notice here that we're able to import individual functions over here. So, but when you look at the statement over here, or actually, let me copy this, or I will copy this and just stay at the top so you can see the differences. So you can see the ones in green over here, you can see they are modules over here. And you might be wondering, how come this is in green? So how come this, looks different to this import statement? So you can see they both start off with from. So notice here, these are modules. So when I hover over, you can see it says module. And if I hover over this one, you can see it's metric is a module, sklearn is a module. And within this module, you can see these two are functions. So you can see it's the function. But for this one, you can see that actually it's a class. So that's the difference. So you can't import a function from this linear regression. So if we look at where linear regression is used, you can see it's used here, and we are creating an instance of it. And when you create an instance of it, you can then see that we can use this function, but you can't use the fit function, for example, like this. You can't import it in. It says that this isn't valid syntax. This is because classes over here are complete objects that you need to import. So remember, this class is part of this module, and although these are modules, but they have functions directly inside them. So you don't need a class to use these functions, because you can imagine linear regression is a class because it needs to remember all the data that you supply to it, while mean absolute error and mean squared error actually are just functions that are able to work on a standalone basis. So they don't need to do or hold any data, while classes are able to hold data. But individual functions don't need to, because they just run and finish, and there's no need to do anything else. So I hope this explains the difference between why we have statements like this that is in green over here, but then there are situations where you can actually import standalone functions. But for classes, when you hover over, you can see it's a class, you cannot do that. So this has been a bit of a beginner's guide to machine learning, and I'm explaining different parts of Python as I go along. Check out my other explanations where I talk through this full example of machine learning in Python.